Hey everyone, welcome to Content Con Artists. We're missing two members, if you can tell. In that episode called The Beginning, you saw Peter kind of shot Dylan. And that was recorded after the other two episodes. So Dylan's in the hospital. He's uploading content still. He has his laptop. That's good. Peter's being prosecuted right now for shooting him. And apparently the house was broken into. It's mine. So I guess they weren't the only idiots in that video. Yeah. But today, we're going to do, in the spirit of JonTron, a review video over the Pokemon series. Because I couldn't think of anything else. It's one of the largest ones out there. What am I supposed to do? The Aliens movies? Indiana Jones? I don't know what else to do, guys. So let's start all the way back at the very beginning when Pokemon game first came out. Pokemon Red, Blue, and Green. And maybe Yellow. I don't know how many of them there were. So I don't own any of the Pokemon games. I own I own 5 Pokemon games. A loser is me. But, in order to go back to the beginning, we're going to have to look at the good old golden page of Wikipedia. Take a look at the Wikipedia page. The version and blue version, originally released in Japan as Pokemon Red version and Green version. How do you screw that up? How do you screw that up, guys? It's red and blue. It's red and blue. But somehow blue became green. You can mix those up, sure. This wall right here, is green. Clearly it's green. What, they didn't like blue in Japan? Let's get back. Our role-playing video game. Really? Role-playing? I'm starting to not trust Wikipedia no more. Role-playing games developed by Game Freak and published by Nintendo for the Game Boy. They're first installments of the Pokemon series. They were released in Japan in 1996 as Red and Green. Blue was released later in the year as a special edition. Wow. Interesting. They were later released as Red and Blue in North America, Europe, and Australia over the following 3 years. Of course, Japan gets it first. Because Japan, it's where all video games are made nowadays. I actually better Google that at some point. Pokemon Yellow was a special edition version and was released roughly a year later. Red and Green have subsequently been remade for the Game Boy Advance as Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green in 2004. Which explains why there's no Water Blue. I mean, my thinking was just that sounded weird. Listen to that name. Water Blue. There's some place in, London somewhere. It's called Waterloo. Waterloo. It's only released there. The code's been cracked! We know how to find Waterloo now. Go to Waterloo. In London. England. I don't know. Cheerio, mates. Cheerio. Code's been cracked. And now I can't see anything. This mask is slowly covering my vision. Someone sit out. The mask tastes cool. Let's keep reading. The player controls the protagonist from an overhead perspective and navigates him. Well, yeah, him. Actually, I don't know. Could you choose a girl? No, you can. You can. Was it just in Leaf Green? Maybe not just. I don't know. I think you can still choose a girl. Him or her. And navigates them throughout the fictional region of Kanto in a quest to master Pokemon battling. The goal of the games is to become the champion of the Indigo League. The Indigo League? Don't you just mean the Pokemon League? What's the Indigo League? Where'd you get Indigo? I don't understand. Where's Indigo coming from here? What? Where did Indigo come from? This is Pokemon Fire. This is Red, Blue, Green, Yellow. I don't see Indigo in there. I don't see Indigo. You can call it the Indigo. You can call it the Indigo. Indigo. The Indigo League. Let's keep going. is defeat the Indigo League. Build the games because the champion of the Indigo League by defeating the 8 gym leaders and the top 4 Pokemon trainers in the land, the Elite Four. Another objective is to complete the Pokedex and in-game encyclopedia by obtaining 150 available Pokemon. Get that out of here. Red and Blue utilize the Game Link cable, which connects 2 games together and allows Pokemon to be traded or battled between games. Both titles are independent of each other but feature the same plot, and while they can be played separately, it is necessary for players to trade among both games in order to obtain all of the first 150 Pokemon. Red and Blue were well received with critics, praising the multiplayer options, especially the concept of trading. They received an exaggerated score. Or is that aggregated?
Aggregated. I'm going to have to Google that.
Score of 89% on game rankings and were permanently ranked on top of game links, including at least 4 years of IGN's top 100 games of all times.
Well, isn't that just nice?
So that's it for Pokemon Red, and apparently Blue, and Green, and Yellow, and Habanero, and Indigo, and Purple. And their remakes were released again in 2004. But then, before the remake, and after the first games, it came a sequel. But after Red, Green, Yellow, Blue, there became Pokemon Gold and Silver, with the main Pokemon of that game being Ho-Oh for Gold and Lugius for Silver. Now this game was well received among many people, not only because you could have your Pokemon follow you around in-game, there was a whole new batch of new Pokemon to catch, whole new bunch of legendaries rather than just Mewtwo and Mew. And now you could not only you explore the Johto region, but you could also explore the Kanto region. You could actually go back and fight through all those 8 gym leaders again after you mastered your own, and then take on that league as well. And this is what makes it such a great sequel, and why the remake was so well received when it came out with better graphics, more colors, more Pokemon, and yes, you could still have all of them follow you. In fact, it was actually doubled because if you got a shiny version of any of those Pokemon of sprite and had it follow you, the sprite that followed you would also be of the shiny Pokemon. And that's what made it so popular, is because it was so complicated, and something like that was never really done in another Pokemon game. So let's go over to Gen 3 and its remix. Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, Alpha Sapphire, and Omega Ruby. Oh, don't forget Pokemon Emerald. This was the first game. Now, when the 3rd generation came out, we had Pokemon Ruby, and we had Pokemon Sapphire, and Pokemon Emerald came out about a year later. Now, it continued what was now developing as a tradition, where the 2 games would have the main legendary Pokemon featured on the box art respectively. And you could only get all of the Pokemon by trading in between them. And then Pokemon Emerald came out, and you could get everything, and yada yada yada. It wasn't as great as Pokemon Heart Gold or Soul Silver when those remakes came out. And I don't think the 3rd generation was even as good as the second one, mainly because there was so little now compared to that second one. Now, tell you what, nothing tops that second gen. I don't have any of the previously mentioned games, except for the remakes of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, which were released 10 years after the original release dates of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby, for the 3DS. Nobody will ever know how hard it was back in the old days. Now after that, not the remakes, by the way, the remakes come up like a while after each original release. But after Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, we had Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and their 3rd release, Pokemon Platinum, which I actually have. Show you a little bit of gameplay footage here. I'm pretty far in the game. The first time I tried playing it, I never got past the 8th gym leader. But now that I picked it up again after quite a few years, actually, we're able to see just how great the game is. The graphics are pretty nice and solid. They don't change very much when we go into the 5th gen. is good. Is good content.
Blasted!
Shut up.
Blasted!
Shut up. And of course, we take a look now at the little star of the series. Yeah, look. You see that right there? That's Giratina. See that? See that right there? In that high quality Ghost Dragon, yeah? It's Giratina. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you get to see the games that I grew up with. Pokemon Black and Pokemon White. 5th generation. These were my first Pokemon games. I don't know how old I was. I don't think there's a release date on here. Anyways, I got this for Christmas along with my first DSi, completely unplanned. Pokemon Black. It had pretty good graphics, honestly. I do think looking at Pokemon Platinum, I enjoyed Pokemon Platinum's graphics a bit more. Pokemon Black and White isn't really that different. But it was still a pretty fun game to play, and I gotta say, with like how I rank it, top 5 Pokemon, blah 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 blah. And a year later came out Pokemon Black 2. I didn't get it until like 3 years later. I really wish I had gotten it sooner. Now Pokemon Black and White just didn't have any like fancy things, didn't have competition. In the 4th gen, there were Pokemon, and 3rd gen, there was Pokemon competitions. In Gen 2, you could walk around with your Pokemon. But Pokemon Black and White were as plain as Pokemon Fire. I mean Pokemon Red. I screwed that up. I did. I screwed that up. And it's on video. It's put out there. Messed up! But here, in Pokemon Black 2, you actually did have a few interesting features. You did have this Pokemon Musical Hall, which is basically like Pokemon Contest, but not really, it doesn't matter. In fact, it's a pretty much useless feature. You dress up your Pokemon, you put them on a stage, and they do like a dance. And I don't mean like they actually have an animated sprite dance, I just mean like the sprites that you see in battle. They just like move around. Like the whole thing just like da-da-da, which is really weird when like your Pokemon jumps halfway through its animation. And it's like rolling in the air, so it'll like be rolling in the air, and it'll just jump and it'll like go through the floor, and it'll be like super funny. Ha ha ha. Pokemon Black 2 actually did have a feature where you could become a movie star, and it was actually really interesting because it was the first Pokemon trilogy to actually be what is that, quartet? Is that what it's called? I think it is. So Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire was the first one to start the tradition of having a 3rd game that was better than the other 2. Which, you know, is just a way, really, for Pokemon to just rob you more of its money. That's what it's all about. That's the game. It's just stealing you of your money. And it decided to boost that up one winner with Pokemon Black and White 2. That was fun. And then, a little while after that, they released Pokemon X. Pokemon Scavenger Hunt, apparently. Let me freaking look around for it. Here it is. Pokemon Y. The Pokemon X and Y wasn't anything great, but it was the first 3D Pokemon games to be released in the series. And, you know, there are, like, other Pokemon games released that we're not covering here, but I'm talking about, like, in the main line. You know what I'm talking about when I say mainline. The ones that everyone cares about. I'm not talking about no Pokemon Snap. I'm not talking about no Pokemon Go. I'm not talking about talking to Pikachu. No, I'm talking about the main series here. Now, Pokemon X and Y, there was a lot of hype for it. It was in 3D. I didn't like it that much. I mean, you can get a Mewtwo. That's cool. There's Mega Evolution. That's fun. Just makes the game that much more complicated. It's okay. And there was no 3rd release for this one, which was weird. Because you had Ruby and Sapphire, then you had Emerald. Black and White had Black and White 2, and Pokemon Diamond and Pearl had Platinum. But Pokemon X and Y, they had no continuations, which is weird. Why would Nintendo want to grab more money? But this would be released in the very next generation. So the next generation came out. I couldn't find the game case for this one, but I was able to find the game cartridge that I had. Pokemon Sun. And there's Moon too, but I didn't have that. I just had Pokemon Sun. Real nice and great. And this is the most... The Pokemon Sun and Moon came out, and it was 3D too, and it was the newest one. And I got it, and I was playing it, and something hit me as I was playing it. It was super easy. See, that's kind of the thing is when you look at like all these Pokemon games, you got the Unova region, you got the Kalos region, you got this region. I don't know all the regions. The Habanero region maybe. I don't know, but they all became easier and easier. I played through Pokemon Platinum. It was difficult, man. It was hard. The hardest part about Pokemon Sun was the fire guy. You know that was hard because I refused to use a ground or water type. And that's all that's good. And that was it. It was the only one. That was the only part that was hard. Okay. Don't lie. Don't lie. They get easier every year. Now, for those of you who don't know, they have released that they're doing, not only they're going to be doing remakes for Gen 4 at some point, and we don't know really a lot about it, but they are releasing the sequels for Pokemon Sun and Moon, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which you know what that means, they're ripping off Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. And I mean quite literally too, because in Pokemon Black 2, you see this little fella here? This guy's called Kyurem, but he also appears different on Pokemon White 2. You know why? Because Kyurem don't look like that. You just think DNA spike to blah 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 blah. He fuses with this guy here, and he becomes this. Doesn't make sense. You have to play the game to understand the story. But then Pokemon Sun and Moon, Sun and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon comes out, and there's this Pokemon, Sun and Moon. It's called Necrozma. You catch it? It's good. It's like Kyurem. You know why? I'll show you why. Come here. Him. See? That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Right there. Let me enlarge it for you so you can take a good long look. You know what that is? You see this guy right here? That's the main guy from Pokemon Sun. But now take a look. You see that? Let's take a look over here. Whatever. You got the point. There he is. There he is. You see this? You see this? You see this? Form together? There you go. There you go. You see what I'm talking about now? You see what I'm talking about? They're ripping it off. See him? See this guy? You see this guy here? What's his name? Okay, there he is. There he is. You see? This plus this equals this. This is an actual real thing. You see my point now? You see my point? They're ripping off themselves. Yeah, close on tense. Yeah. Ripping it off. And I bet you it's going to be even easier than the last one. Okay, and that's going to be all for my little Pokemon rant. It's easier. The game's been released. I like Pokemon Black and White. This content is terrible, of course. But I thought in True Transfer, we get a cute pet with a robotic voice that shoots lasers. I could only fill out on the cute pet part. Let's see. Let's see if it works. What do you think of Natalie Portman? Is he? I don't think he's. No, it looks like we just got the cute pet. The cute pet part. And that's all for today, guys. So tune in for next video. We got a new video coming at some point, and we hope you, at the very least, don't murder us for such terrible content. I'll get to you guys as soon as Peter is back from being cord whatever, and then goes out of the hospital. And we'll call you guys again. Have a good time. Content Con Artist. Please subscribe. We're lonely. We're losers and we know it. Please just subscribe.